Good morning, everyone. This is the third video of Europe chapter, Nationalism in Europe. We are going to study the topic, the making of Germany and Italy. Germany, can the army be the architect or of a nation? After 1848, nationalism in Europe moved away from its association with democracy and revolution. Nationalist sentiments were often mobilized by conservatives for promoting state power and achieving political domination over Europe. This can be observed in the process by which Germany and Italy came to be unified as nation states. Nationalist feelings were widespread among the middle class Germans who, in 1848, tried to unite the different regions of German Confederation into a nation state governed by an elected parliament. This liberal initiative to the nation building was, however, repressed by the combined forces of monarchy and the military supported by the large landowners of Prussia. From then on, Prussia took on leadership of the movement for national unification. Its chief minister Otto von Bismarck was the architect of this process, carried out with the help of Prussian army and bureaucracy. 3 wars over 7 years with Austria, Denmark and France ended the Prussian victory and completed the process of unification. In January 1871, the Prussian king William I was proclaimed German emperor in the ceremony held at Versailles. The nation building process in Germany had demonstrated the dominance of Prussian state power. The new state placed a strong emphasis on modernizing the currency, banking, legal and judicial systems in Germany. Prussian measures and practices often became a model for the rest of the Germany. Now come to the Italy unified. Like Germany, Italy too had a long history of political fragmentation. Italy was scattered over several dynastic states as well as the multinational Habsburg Empire. During the middle of 19th century, Italy was divided into 7 states, of which only one, Sardinia Piedmont, was ruled by an Indian princely house. The north was under Austrian Habsburg and the center was ruled by Pope, and the southern regions were under the domination of the Bourbon kings of Spain. Even the Italian language has not acquired one common form and still had many regional and local variations. During the 1830s, Giuseppe Mazzini had sought to put together a coherent program for a unitary Indian republic. He had also formed a secret society called Young Italy for the dissemination of his goals. The failure of revolutionary uprising both in 1831 and 48 meant that the mantle now fell on Sardinia Piedmont under its ruler King Victor Emmanuel II to unify the Indian states through war. In the eyes of the ruling elites of this region, a unified Italy offered them the possibility of economic development and political dominance. Chief Minister Cavour, who led the movement to unify the regions of Italy, was neither a revolutionary nor a democrat. Though a tactful diplomatic alliance with France engineered by Cavour, Sardinia Piedmont succeeded in defeating the Austrian forces in 1859. Apart from the regular troops, a large number of armed volunteers under the leadership of Giuseppe Garibaldi joined the fray, means army. In 1860, they marched into South and the kingdom of Two Scillies and succeeded in winning the support of local peasants in order to drive out Spanish rulers. In 1861, Victor Emmanuel II was proclaimed the King of United Italy. Much of the Italian population, among whom rates of illiteracy were very high, remained blissfully unaware of liberal nationalist ideology. Now, the strange case of Britain, Part 1. The model of the nation or the nation state, some scholars have argued, is Great Britain. The Britain and the formation of nation state was not the result of sudden upheaval or revolution. It was the result of long drawn out process. There was no British nation prior to the 18th century. The primary identities of the people who inhabited the British Isles were ethnic ones such as English, Welsh, Scot, or Irish. All of these ethnic groups had their own culture and political traditions. But the English nation steadily grew in wealth, importance, and power, and it was able to extend its influence over the other nations of the islands. The English Parliament, which had seized the power from the monarchy in 1688 at the end of protracted conflict, was the instrument through which a nation state, with England at its center, came to be forged. The Britain Case, Part 2. The Act of Union, which was signed in 1707 between England and Scotland, resulted in the formation of United Kingdom of Great Britain, meant in effect that England was able to impose its influence on Scotland. The British Parliament was henceforth dominated by its English members. The growth of British identity meant that Scotland's distinctive culture and political institutions were systematically suppressed. The Catholic clans that inhabited the Scottish Highlands suffered terrible repression whenever they attempted to assert their independence. The Scottish Highlanders were forbidden to speak their Gaelic language or wear their national dress, and large numbers were forcefully driven out of their homeland. Ireland suffered a similar fate. Fate means destiny, which was a country deeply divided between Catholics and Protestants. The English helped Protestants of Ireland to establish their dominance over the large Catholic country. Catholic revolts against British dominance were suppressed. After a failed revolt of Wolfe and his kingdom and his United Irishmen, Ireland was forcefully incorporated into United Kingdom in 1801. A new British nation was forged through the propagation of dominant English culture. The symbols of New Britain, the British flag, Union Jack, the national anthem, God Save Our Noble King, and the English language were actively promoted, and older nations survived as the subordinate patterns in this union. Here we end up with the chapter. The most important points we have covered in all the videos of this chapter. You have to do the NCERT questions and the extra questions which I am going to give you. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.